Right.
Good evening all. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is my screen is visible, people?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So people, do you have any doubt in week 4 questions?
Yes, ma'am. I have a doubt in practice assignment question number 4.
Mm. So what is given is, first they have given the pseudocode in executing, okay, shopping bills data set. So if frag stores the ratio of number of customers who purchased both milk and bread to the number of customers who purchased only the milk. So it contains the ratio of both. So you have to choose the fragment of this. Okay, what's your doubt in this?
Ma'am, it's not like all options are correct. I think means I'm understanding third option is wrong, but all are similar options according to me.
Actually, here first it has to be the ratio of number of customers who purchase both bread and milk. So the quotient has to, like, the numerator has to be bread and milk divided by the milk count. It has to be like that, right? Let's check with
So
the
questions asking that number of customers who purchase bread and milk, we
to
have
the
to ratio to
who
number of
purchase.
customers who only purchase milk.
Yes. So let's check with the options as well. Okay, so here if it is bread, they are incrementing the count. If it is milk means they are incrementing the count. This cannot be the option, right? Because we need only the count of the milk also. But here only if it is bread, the milk count will be taken. So this fragment will be correct, but it will not get this one. Similarly, if I take this one, no, if it is milk, M will be calculated. If it is bread, B will be calculated. But it has to be bread plus milk. And here, okay, both the conditions are given. And if it, yeah, this will suit, right? This option D will suit. Because, let's say, what is the given condition first? Whomsoever has bought the milk will be counted in M count. So, that will be stored in the M count, like number of people who bought only the milk. B contains milk plus bread, right? Because, can you see here, only if the person has purchased milk, then only the bread count is counted. Which means they are also checking milk that is added here. So only milk will be added in M count. The B count contains milk. After that, they have purchased bread. So it has counted both. So the option can be option D.
Why not first? What is difference? Only bracket difference, I think.
Yeah. The thing is, 1 minute, I'll show you. Okay. So in option first, what is given? What is option first is? So here they are taking for milk count. Milk count is taken in M and bread count is taken in B. But what it has to be? It has to be like bread plus milk divided by milk. Will this condition satisfy this? Because the next condition is fraction is equal to b count by m count. But actually what the b count is storing? Only the bread. But it has to be the combination of both. So that's why it's not option B.
So
Is that
first is not correct because of third step. I think if
yeah,
I remove
actually it has to
third step,
include
if I remove third, then it will be correct, I think.
here if they let's say if this option has to be correct in the sense of here they have to add the one more condition for the milk also. If the item is eggs and bread and if the item is eggs and milk, then this is correct. Can you able to understand this?
Means I'm saying if I remove, can you see the third step, first, second, and third? Third step, there is a second bracket, like
Hmm.
middle bracket. If I remove this, then this option can be correct or
In
not?
case of second one, so what I'll tell you. So first what it counts, B contains the only the bread count, right? B contains only if it is bread, the B count is
Yes,
included
ma'am.
here. How about M count? M will be counted only if bread they have purchased and then milk is purchased, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
But we need the count of milk separately, bread and milk separately. That's how it has to be, right? But in this case, if this condition is true, then only it will check for the milk. It will not get only the let's say if a person didn't purchase bread, but he has purchased only the milk. Will that be counted here? Will
No,
that be
ma'am.
counted? No, exactly. Why? Because it will check whether the person has purchased bread. No, so his milk count will not be counted at all. But what it has to be, the milk has to be counted. If the person has only bought milk, that also need to be counted. As well as the people who has brought bread plus milk also need to be counted. It has to be like this. Both has to be counted. So that's why this option will not work. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So coming to option C, here it will check for milk as well as bread. For both, it is adding the conditions. So here also it will not check with the milk. What if the person has bought only milk? Will that be counted here?
No, ma'am.
Exactly. Because
It's
and
opposite.
condition is given. Because and in the sense of both the condition has to be true. But here it is not.
Yes, ma'am. This option is clear.
Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's
Again,
the reason.
ma'am, explain
If you
again,
check
please.
this option D, what is given here? In option D, first they are checking for milk. So in this M count, only milk will be counted. Okay. When this B will be added, if the person has brought milk as well as the bread, then this B will be counted. Only this condition is true, then only this condition will execute. Is that clear?
Yeah, because if written, then we are doing this.
Yes.
Aisa.
So that's why here also you can see it is like B count by M count. So B count contains milk plus bread and M count contains only the milk. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
टाइमाचे बराबर मेंशन आ गया है
Najia, do you have any doubt, no?
Ma'am, I have a doubt in practice assignment 1 point in question number 10.
This practice assignment, right? Is this question?
Right.
Okay. So it is given that we have to make use of the words data set. At the end of the execution, A captures the number of nouns with the letter count at least 4. What does mean by at least 4?
At least means minimum.
Yes. So it has to be greater than or equal to 4, right? Okay. So the letter count has to be greater than or equal to 4. And then what has to be that the word has to be a noun, part of speech has to be a noun. And at most 18, which means, what does mean by at most 8?
It's mean maximum to maximum 8.
Yes, the maximum has to be the 8. Okay, so the word range has to be, the word letter count has to be 4 to 8. Okay, and and the parts of speech has to be a noun. That's it. So here we have to identify which are all the options are wrong. First, they are checking with parts of speech, noun. Only if it is noun, what it will do, we have to check. Okay, so here we are passing the 2 parameters. Okay, so first they are taking C is equal to 0, and then they are taking that table 1 has more cards. Then they are checking with 4 and 8, which is C1 and C2. Okay, so first, what is C? C1 is equal to 4 and C2 is equal to 8. And first they are checking with the parts of speech of that word. If it is noun, then it has to check whether 4 has to be less than or equal to that letter count. And what is the condition given here?
Is less than or equal to C2.
Less than or equal to 8. That is the letter count, as well as 4 should be less than or equal to that letter count. Okay, so if yes, written true. If it is then it is added
False.
to C. Okay. So here A captures they have mentioned, but we are trying to add it in A, right? Okay, so incorrect conditional statement 11.9. Okay, so is the statement is wrong? Is the conditional statement is wrong?
Oh, I don't know, ma'am.
No. I'm asking then what is the condition statement is about? 4 to 8, right?
Right.
But is the condition is like that?
Yeah. What, ma'am?
Wait.
I'm not understanding.
Okay, let's say, what is the condition given here? So what are the lines or mistakes they have mentioned? Line number 4. Incorrect use to call the procedure. Is this the correct way to call the procedure?
I'm working. No, I'm working. No,
Anusha?
no.
Okay. So what is given here in this case? Is fourth line is correct? They have given procedure, procedure is check something and 3 parameters is passed. And X is the card, which means Y they have taken here. 4 and 8 are the upper and lower limits. Is this line is correct?
No.
Why it is no?
Mm, check something.
Actually, it is correct. This is the correct way of calling the procedure. So line number 4 cannot be the mistaken one. Then we have to check with the next option. Line 5, C is wrongly updated. Is the updation is correct? Is this how we'll update it? Isn't it?
Yes, ma'am, it is correct.
Yes. So line number 5 is also not wrong. Next, line number 11 is incorrect conditional statement. What is the conditional statement given? So C1 is 4. 4 is less than or equal to the letter count. And what here it is given? And letter count should be less than or equal to the 8. Is this condition is true? Of course, right? Because they said that it has to be minimum 4 and maximum 8. So I can, more precisely, I can write it like this, right? Letter count less than or equal to 8. So this is what is like separated into 2 statements. Is this correct?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you all able to understand this, people?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Okay. So next is line number 19, incorrect written statement. Incorrect value of written statement. What is written here? Else true. So this is the else part of this one, right?
Right.
Yeah. So here what is given? If it is not noun, it has to return true. Is this correct?
Yes,
No,
yes.
ma'am.
How it is correct?
It is not correct.
Yes. Why so?
But it should be noun. If it is noun, then it's
Exactly.
true.
It should be noun as well as we have to check with the letter count. Though the first condition is not yes. If the first condition itself is wrong in the sense of here it has to return as false. Is that clear? Can able to understand people?
Yes, ma'am.
So the error can be in this one. Line number 19, incorrect value for return statement. Because it has to satisfy two conditions. One is the parts of speech has to be a noun as well as the letter count should be in the range of 4 to 8. If the parts of speech is not noun, it should return as false, but here it is mentioned as true. So this is an error. Instead, if it is false means, then this is a correct written statement. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And of course, it cannot be a no error because there is an error. Okay. Line number 19, incorrect value for written. Any other doubt, people? Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
yes,
So
sir.
no doubts?
Sir, as of now, I'm in a class. As of now, I'm in a class, sir.
What?
I am taking the degree of IIT Madras, data science. Sure. I mean, okay, sir. I'll tell you.
Were you not able to access the course? All right, others, do you have any other doubt now? Shall we discuss the activity questions then? Okay. So the first question they have mentioned is we have to state whether the following statements are true or false. Okay. So we can find the we can find the at least one pair of students with the same date of birth in a single iteration. Is it possible to find the people who have the same date of birth using the single iteration?
It is not possible.
Huh?
Not possible.
Exactly. Why it is not possible?
Because we have to also compare.
Yes, exactly. So what we will do in general is first we'll take the first card. So if you have watched the lecture also, you would have got a better idea. That is, first we used to take the first card and then we'll check it with the upcoming cards. Like we'll check with the second card and then third card, and it keeps going until we find the match. So similarly, we have to take with the second card and we have to do the same process. So every time it's like a outer loop and then inner loop. So we cannot be able to find the pair of students with the same date of birth in a single iteration. So here the answer is false. And for next question, people, Yes, what is given in the second question? Two nested iterations are sufficient to find the pair of students with the same date of birth. Is it true or false?
True.
Exactly. Why it is true? Because as I mentioned earlier, like we have to take two iterations. Like outer loop has to store the first set of elements. Let's say I'm taking the A card. So this A card has to be compared with all the other cards. So these cards comes under the another loop. So we need two set of iterations. So here the answer will be true.
Ma'am, nested means complete loop.
Nested in the sense of loop inside a loop. So first I'm taking a loop inside which I'm checking for the one more loop.
So there is a nested. Suppose there is a one nested, it means there is a two loop.
Minimum two. It's not that exactly two. It can be more than two also. Nested in the sense of loop inside a loop. It can be another loop also can be inside this.
So two nested means four loop.
No. Two nested in the sense of they are trying to mean this only. Like this and this. Two loops. Two nested iterations. It's initially, they're trying to say that it's a loop inside a loop. That's it. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then third question is given us the student X is compared with another student Y from pile 1. So repeat the statement 1 until pile 1 is empty. The date of birth of the student X does not match with any other student in pile 1. So here, based on the above statements, choose the correct option below. So they have mentioned that X and Y has to be discarded. Discard Y and keep X. Both has to be kept, or discard X, keep Y. Which is the correct answer here? So the question is, they are taking the X card, which means, let's say they have taken the A card. And then they are comparing with the other cards, right? Out of which is Y card. Now, which has to be, this A is matched with Y. It does not match with any of the students. It's like Y checked, let's say Y2 checked, Y3 checked. Many cards are checked. Now this X card is not matched, which means which has to be discarded, either Y card or X card.
As mom, we are removing.
Which one we have to remove? X or Y, or we have to keep both?
X1 is removed.
Yeah, X remove
Exactly.
because not match. X
Yeah,
it did not
X has
match.
to be removed because can you see here? This is checked with all other cards, but the no match is found. Then no need to keep that card. We can just remove this card and then we can just check, take this Y card again and we have to check it against the all the other cards. Okay, so here the answer will be discard the X and keep the Y for the further iterations. Is these three questions clear to you all? Everyone? Everyone, can you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Moved.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then moving ahead with 4.2. So what are the possible winning strategies to find pairs of students with the same date of birth? Yes. We have to sort them based on the date of birth. So which of the binning strategies are required?
First and second option.
Why first and second?
Because it's about of birthday.
Huh. It's like bin by city and town. Does it make any sense?
No, ma'am.
No. And range of total has nothing to do with their date of birth. Okay, so the possibility can be bin by birth of month of birth and bin by day of birth. So these two can be the possibilities. Okay. and state whether the following statements are true or false. If a bin has at most one card, then there is no need to iterate that bin. Is it true or false?
True.
Why it is true?
Because there is a most one card, so that
Mm-mm.
Because
Okay.
we tend not compare with other carded.
yes,
Okay. Then
here I can't do any iteration with any other cards, so that this is true.
okay. Perfect, people. Actually, if I take that card, no, I cannot be able to do the further iterations because it contains maximum of one card. So there is no need to iterate in that bit. Okay. And next is one iteration is sufficient to bin the card. Is it?
No,
Yes, this is true.
Hmm? Is one iteration is sufficient to bin the cards?
no,
Yeah,
no.
Why it is no?
Because in many cases we need to iterate many times to find our required result. So one iteration doesn't.
Is it about required results or about binning the cards?
Oh, regarding winning the cards, yeah, one iteration is.
Exactly. One iteration is more than enough, right? Because we have to bin
Oh,
it, which
sorry,
means,
sorry, sorry.
let's
My
say,
bad, my
I
bad.
have to bin them to a state or country or let's say based on their cities. So in one iteration, I can just bin it, right? Whether the person belongs to Chennai or Bangalore or well or whatever the country, whatever the city is, we can be able to bin them using one iteration. Okay. And the next question is, we can solve the birthday paradox problem after binning in one iteration. Is that possible?
no,
Why it is no?
because there is only one iteration.
Actually, how
Impossible.
many iterations are required then?
Three
At
iteration, I
least
guess.
two. At least two.
Why three?
Uh, it is possible, man.
Actually, two iterations are enough, right? So,
Yeah,
which
at
is
least
nothing but
two.
first I have to take the person's date of birth, and then what I'll do?
Then I have to match.
Yes, we have to match it by using the other iteration. So I'll check with the second card, third card, fourth card. Similarly, I'll check with all the cards. If the match is not found, then I'll go ahead with like I'll discard this and then I'll take the new card that is second card and that will be checked against the other cards. So here, one iteration is not enough to solve this birthday paradox problem. Is that clear?
Yeah,
Okay. So what is the advantage of binning? Yes.
Reduces number of comparisons.
Exactly. Because in case of bin, if the bin contains only two elements, so number of comparisons is uh, yes. Do you all remember the formula? N into n minus 1 by 2?
Yes, ma'am.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
So based on that only we have to, if there is no repetition and all, so that is how we are trying to reduce it. Okay. So let me check the answers here.
And in question number 4, if we have done winning,
Only
then
five,
we
ma'am.
can
I
solve
think
birthday
five.
problem
In
in
one
one iteration.
iteration.
I think if we have done winning, suppose if I find out the birthday,
No. The birthday one, how can you be able to do it in single iteration? First, you have to take one card. That particular card has to be checked with all the
in
other cards,
in
right?
first iteration we are doing winning. So we have already winning. It means first iteration we have completed. I think.
Okay. Uh, so
In this question, they are saying after winning. After winning, it means first iteration we have completed.
no, for binning you need a iteration, right? After that only inside the binning. Okay. So you are saying that after binning. I cannot understand. Yes.
So we do bin without iteration, you are saying that.
No, here it is mentioned as single iteration. Single iteration, we cannot do that, right?
Ma'am, kindly explain question number 5.
Hmm? Okay, actually, we cannot discuss the graded assignment as its due date is 12. So we are not discussing that. I could see one person have asked this.
No, I'm not asking this. I'm asking question number 5 of activity assignment.
Which activity?
No,
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 no.
no.
One more person asked about that graded assignment for them. Yes, which activity you're talking about?
4.2 question number 5. Just you did explain.
It reduces the number of comparisons. This one.
Yeah, ma'am. I'm not understanding this.
Okay, so what is the process of binning? What does mean by binning? Yes. What does mean by binning, ma?
Binnings. I'm not. What is the mean of binning mean?
Have you watched the tutorials?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So if you watch the tutorials, you would have known. Anyway, I'll tell you now. Binning in the sense of, let's say, I have 20 cards now. Or let's take 10 cards now. Now, I have to compare the 10 cards with the pair of all the other cards. Which means card 1 has to be checked with all the other 9 cards.
Mean
So,
compare to the other rest cards.
yes. So, generally, how many comparisons are required? 1 has to be compared with 9 cards.
9
2 has
cards.
to be compared with other cards. 3
Others
has to
9.
be compared with other. So
Other 9.
similarly, I have to compare it multiple times, right? So to
Right.
avoid it, what they are trying to do is, let's say, here I'm taking the multiples of 2 and non-multiples of 2.
Right.
Which means, based on the requirement, we'll sort. Let's say if it is like I have to find the odd and even. In that case, I can just take odd numbers on one bin and even numbers on another bin.
Right.
Okay, so by this way, I can be able to compare it. So just for example, I'm telling this. Similarly, let's say if they're asking us to sort it based on the city of the students. So based on the cities, you have to create that many bins. So let's say this is for Chennai and this is for Bangalore. And I have to create a one more bin for Vellum and one more bin for Madurai, like this. So based on the requirement, we need to create a number of bins. Okay, so now let's say in Chennai people, I want only the female. So within this bin, I can just make the changes, right? I can just check how many females are there. So now I have to do iteration only within this bin.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so that is the question. Is that clear?
Please mute yourself.
Hmm?
Mukesh, please mute yourself.
Okay, others, any doubt?
No.
Okay, so shall we go ahead then with 4.3? Okay, we have,
Ma'am,
yes.
I have a doubt in activity question 3.7. Is it possible that
Oh,
you
yeah, sure, we can discuss. Activity 3.7, yes.
question number 2?
1 minute, it's just taking some time to load.
Yes.
Question number 2, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So using the procedure marks FLD discussed in the lecture, we need to compute the following expressions. So max has to be taken and maximum mark of physics has to be taken and maximum mark of chemistry to be taken. So we need to take the 3 maximum marks, right?
Right.
Max mark plus maximum of physics. Similarly here, plus maximum of chemistry has to be taken, which has to be subtracted with maximum mark of total.
Total.
So now, what can you say about the outcome of the following above expression? Assume that we run it on a
It's
variant of the
always
scores
greater
dataset.
than
Has
0.
Okay. So they have given only the possibilities. Like it is always 0, it is less than 0, greater than 0. Okay. So let's say the person has scored maximum mark in maths, but not in physics and chemistry, but that person has scored the total maximum mark. So that is one of the possibility, right?
I think option number C is correct, ma'am.
Hmm?
I think option number C is correct.
It is always greater than 0.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that is a possibility. Then we have to check with all the possibilities, right? I'll write Mukesh. It's not an issue, but please mute yourself. That's a better one. Okay. Yeah. Others, what are the other options is mentioned? It is always 0. It is less than 0 and all. So how is the possibility can be less than 0?
No,
No, ma'am.
Why it is no?
because
Because here
marks can't be in minus.
No, it's not like that, right? Because here the thing is, the person has scored greater, did not say how many subjects, so greater than 0. Okay, so it's a possibility that the person can score, let's say a person's mark we are taking, the same person has scored the maximum highest, physics also highest, chemistry also highest. Then
Okay.
he will be the maximum total, right?
Hmm.
So in this case, 0 is also possible, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
So
The
ma'am.
difference is
Because a person got the maximum marks in a
in all
physics
the
and
subjects,
chemistry in
which
all the
means his
subjects,
total will
right?
be the greater
So
also.
option number last option is correct. It's me.
Yes. Why so? Because there is a
Because
possibility, right? A person can score maximum in all the 3 subjects also.
yeah.
Yeah, that is
I
one
didn't get that,
possibility.
ma'am.
Yes.
I didn't. It's not clear to me yet.
Okay. Let's say a person has scored a maximum mark in max only. That is, he has scored around 98. Okay. And
Okay.
he holds the highest maximum mark, which means the total also the maximum because he has scored 98 and then he has scored 90 and then he has scored 95, which means let's say 283 is the maximum mark of all. But
Okay.
let's say he has scored 98, 95 and all. But there is one person who has scored the physics 98 and he has scored less in some, I'll just write the marks here, 70 and he has scored 95 and here he has scored let's say 90. So this is also a possibility, right? So now this is the maximum physics. This is not maximum anymore, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, ma'am.
And similarly, let's take one more person with the score of 90, 90, and here he has scored 99. Now,
Okay.
his total score is 279, but he has scored the highest in chemistry.
Hmm.
So now totaling all this, that is 98 plus,
99,
what
which
is
is equal
the
to
max, physics, chemistry, physics highest
197.
is 95 and chemistry highest is 99, which means 292 is the total here. But what is the highest score?
280 something.
283 is the
83.
highest total so far.
Yeah.
So, of course, it's greater than this, right? So, we'll get the positive value. That's the thing. Is that clear?
Right. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, that's why it can be greater than 0 because it's no need the same person has to score maximum, right? So,
Right, ma'am.
it's like greater than or equal to 0 will be the possibility. It's no need to be the same person has to score in all, or else a person has scored highest in one subject but not in the other subjects. The possibility can be like that also.
Okay, ma'am.
Is that
Got it.
clear?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Smita. Others? Let's check with this answer as well.
Ma'am, this kind of questions will come in exam like according to lecture and this kind of statement.
Mostly they'll just give you the like using the data set only, because randomized questions can be asked. You can just check with the questions which is asked previous also. Divya, could you please check with the link which I'm sharing you now? So if you are still not able to do it, please let me know. Yes, I have sent a link in chat. You can just check. Click this link and tell me whether you could be able to access the course or not. And others, do you have any doubt in any other practice questions, people? If not, I'm going ahead with the next practice question. Okay, so here they have mentioned that we have n cards in a pile and we compare each card with the each other card in a pile exactly once. So what is the total number of comparisons we have made? Yes, what is the answer for this, people?
Option number D, because this is just a formula of mathematics.
Exactly. It's n into n minus 1 by 2 will be the answer. And here they have given 7 elements A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So they have mentioned that if we connect each element with every other elements by lines, what is the total number of lines that we could have
21.
to draw?
Yes,
21.
ma'am. 21, because this is also, here is a sevens elements, and I
Yes.
will put the value of 7 into 6 minus 7 minus 1 by
Yes.
2, which is equal to 42.
Exactly. It's nothing but 21, because here the number of elements is 7. So 7 into 6 by 2 will get it as 21. Okay, so here the answer will be like 21. So here is the next question. So if you watch this lecture 4.3, you would have got the idea as for, yeah, I'll just show you that as well.
Check, for instance, suppose you want it.
So here, can you see for 10,000 what they have mentioned? It's approximately 5 into 10 to, 5 seconds is required, right? People, is my screen is visible to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So can you see the number of comparisons? That is for 2, we have got 1. For 3, 3. For 4, it's 6. For 5, it's 10. Similarly, for 1,000, what we have got? Approximately.
49,500.
Yes. And for 10,000, we have got approximately 5 into 10 to the power of 8. So 10 to the power of 8 in the sense of it's approximately 1 second. Which means for 10,000, we have got 5 seconds. Yes.
Yes.
Then for 1 lakh,
Lakhs divided by
we'll get it like 50 seconds, right? Into 10. That's it. Divya, I have noted your mail ID, so I'll also ask the team to check regarding this. Okay?
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. Yes. So here the question is, we have to check with the furthermore. Okay, I have to check with the options right here.
एससीटी का एग्जाम हो गया
And
वही
here
आधा घंटा की
the option can be nearly 5,000 seconds. Okay, because every time they are just incrementing the elements to 1 million. Okay. So it gradually grows, right? Is this clear, people? You can check with the lecture also. There they would have mentioned like what is the amount they are taking for initially like 5,000 and all.
There are K2 from mathematical
here.
point of view is that this is growth.
Okay, you can check with this lecture, people, for the third question. Is that clear? Okay. So do you have any doubts so far, people?
No.
All right. So now moving ahead with 4.4. Okay. So assume that we have 20 objects that need to be compared. So how many pairwise comparisons do we need? 4.3 question number 2.
190.
Okay. Okay. So you don't understand this question? Okay. I'll just tell you then. So for this question, let's take the let's make the drawings like lines here. So for A, which are all the compartments to be matched? Let's say A, B, C, and let me give here D, E, and F. So to which these things has to be matched? So A has to be mapped with all the others, right? A has to be mapped with B, and A also need to be mapped with C, A with E, and yeah. So A has to be mapped with D as well. A has to be mapped with E. A has to be mapped with F. So how many lines we have taken? And I think G also is mentioned. No? So A also need to be check mapped with G. Yes. So now 6. For A, we have mapped with 6 elements. And how many elements B will be mapped with? B has to be mapped with C, D, and B also need to be mapped with E. Let me just draw it in a better way. I think this is okay, right? So first let me draw the A's. So A mapped with B, A mapped with C, A mapped with D, A with E, A with F, and A with G. So far I have, for A, I have mapped with 6, right? Isn't it?
Right, clear, ma'am.
Yes. So now, just let me take B. So for B, how many connections are needed? B has to be connected with C, B with D, B with E, B with F, and B with G. Do I need to connect B with A?
No, because already this is connected to the.
Yes. So B has to be connected only with 5. Because B is already connected with A. So no need to do that step.
Ma'am,
Yes.
can this be solved with the set theory? Because ultimately we are making
Yeah,
pairs.
yeah. Yeah, bro.
Actually, you can just use these combinations also.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, you can solve this question at this as the set theory. Yes.
Okay. So similarly, I have to map the C. So C has do I have to map C with A or B?
What, ma'am?
C has to be mapped with
C
D.
A
D,
B F
G,
Z D
F, and
Yeah.
E. Do I have
E
to map C with A or B?
except B.
Yes, A also already mapped with C, right? So I know, and B also already mapped with C. So now C has required only 4, right? 4 connections. Isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Okay, understood.
Okay.
So
Now taking this D. So D has to be connected with how many?
E F G 3.
Yes, only these 4, right? So D has to be connected with,
3.
yes.
EFG If G will करते हैं anywhere because C.
So D has to be connected with 3 elements. Okay. And next has to be E. So E has to be connected with which are all the elements?
F Z rest.
Yes, because this is already connected with the other elements, right? So this has to be connected with F and G, only 2 elements. That's it. So E with 2. And how about F?
Only one with G.
Exactly. Because all the other values are already connected, right?
Right.
So F is only with 1.
Z is already connected to
Yes,
every.
G is already connected with all the other elements. So now on adding this, what is 6 plus 5 is 11. 11 plus 4 is 15. 15 plus 3 is 18.
21.
Plus 2 is 20. Plus 1 is 21. Now did you get an idea like why it is 21?
Yes.
So for this only, in lectures, they have mentioned the formula as n into n plus 1 by, n into n minus 1 by 2. This is the formula can be used. Which means how many elements are here?
Here elements are 7.
Yes. 7
Ye-
into 6 by 2. What it is?
is 42 by 2 which is equal to 21.
Yes. Is
What?
that clear, people?
क्या बोले? नहीं उधर
Okay, everybody, is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So now moving with 4.4. Okay, so they have mentioned that we have 20 objects. Okay, so the n value is to be 20. Now, how many pairwise comparison do we need to make if the object is compared with exactly once? Which means what we need to do?
n minus 1 n
And
into
into
n minus 1 by 2 which is equal to 120. Here n is
190
20.
వస్తుంది మ్యామ్.
Yes, n is 20. 20 into n minus 1, which means 19 divided by 2. What is the
90
value?
380
190.
upon 2.
Yes, 190.
Which is equal-
So here the answer has to be 190. Okay, so here assume that we can distribute the object, 20 objects into equal size, which means we are going to do the binning part here.
Ma'am, that question half into n by k minus 1, that formula will be using, ma'am.
Hmm. Yeah, but the thing is here but before that we have to use this binning as well, right? So how many bins we are going to use here?
5 added 4 bins, ma'am.
Yes. So which means I'm trying to create 4 bins. So each bin contain how many elements then?
5, ma'am. 1
Yes,
to
this
5,
contain 5 elements, 5 elements, 5 elements,
5,
and 5
5
elements. So I have total of 4 bins. So how
4
many
bins.
comparisons do we have to make overall? So for this, if I have to compare bin, so each bin contains how many elements, people? Yes. For each bin, how many comparisons, people?
Ten, ma'am.
How it is 10?
In the each bin 5 observations, ma'am. n into n minus
Yes.
1 by 2 formula will be using, ma'am.
Yes, perfect. So for each bin, how many elements I'll get for comparison? For each bin, I'll get 10, right?
10, 4 bins, so 4
Okay.
into 10, 40 will be.
Exactly. So people, did you get an
Ma'am,
idea?
another way, direct formula will be using, ma'am. Half into n by k minus 1.
Yeah. The thing is, for each bin, I'll get 10 iterations. So here I have 4 bins. So 10 into 4, I'll get it as 40. Why I'm getting 10 here? Because it's like 5 bins. So 5 into 4 by 2. What is the value I'll get? 10. So that is how I'm getting 10 for each bin. So 10 into 4, here the value will be 40. Is that clear to you all? Everyone? You're not able to understand, ma?
Understand, ma'am.
Okay, great. Okay, can you all try with the second question, third question then?
Answer is 10 because just I am distributing the 20 objects by 2.
I didn't get you.
Here is just he's telling a question is telling we distribute the 20 objects into bins of equal size. Equal size means just I am distribute the divided by 2.
Okay.
Then 20 objects divided by 2 which is equal to 10, I think.
Okay, why it is not other elements?
Because here is a
Here also they said no, equal 20 bins into equal size, but they have taken us 4 bins.
Because we can take 2 at for least number of comparison.
Yes, if I'm taking into 10 bins, how many elements each bin can contain? Let's say there are 10 bins. So how many? So 20 elements are divided into 10 bins, which means each bin contain how many elements, ma?
2.
2.
Exactly. So it's like 2. So 2 in the sense of how many comparisons can be made?
Is it 10?
Huh? Each bin I'm asking. Two into 1 by 2, right?
Yes,
So
I
in
think
this
yes.
within this bin, I have to do only one comparison. Within
Yes.
this bin, I have to do only one comparison. Similar here. So all the 10 bins across that, for each bin, I'll just do only one comparison, right?
Right.
Yeah, that is the least thing. If I divide it into 5 or 4, can you see if it is of 4 bins, we are having 40 comparisons. If it is 5, how many comparisons would be?
40 minus 4, 44,
It's like
10.
five bins in the sense of we'll have 4
10.
elements, right?
Is it 10, 10
4 into 3 by 2
5
is
4 comparison and
6, right? So within each bin, we have to
6.
do 6 comparisons. With 5 in the sense of, we'll get 30 comparisons. So if it is 4, I'm getting 40. If it is 5, I'm getting 30. So by this way, we have to check with all the bins. So if I make the number of bins higher, then the number of comparisons will be less. Able to understand this, people?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So if the number of bins is 10 in the sense of, we'll get only 10 elements to be compared. Now, based on the question 1 and 3, by what factor does binning reduce the number of comparisons? So what is the answer here?
No, 90, ma'am. Based on the question 1, because here is a 190 answer and here is a 10. Just is a factor of this. Then 190 of factor which is equal to 0, then I will get 90. 90 into 10.
Okay. So it's like without binning divided by with binning. Okay. So without binning, what is the answer we have got?
Okay.
Without binning is comparing with all. That's without binning, right? Which means we have got it as 190 divided by with binning. With the least bin, with how many bins we have got the least comparison?
10.
10. So which means we'll get the value here as 19. So here the answer is 19. Is this clear
Yes, ma'am.
to everyone? Okay. So here we want to find the number of pairs of students who satisfy both the conditions given below. That is, both the students in the pair have same total marks and they should not belong to the same gender. Okay, we have to take two students, and if the two students' mark has to be same, but gender should not be same. That's the thing. So here they are taking two bins, one containing boys and the other containing girls, and perform the pairwise comparison within the bins. Will that give us the correct answer? Yes or no? Yes. People, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible, but I think I'm not to understand this question, so that please explain this question
Yeah,
to yourself.
no, I think answer is no.
Why
Yeah,
it
I
is?
answer is no because,
Because
but
we are comparing only gender, not comparing same total marks.
Exactly, Mono. We have to compare their total marks also. Then only we can be able to find it. But here we have taken only two bins like boys and girls, and then we are trying to do the comparison within the bins, which is not possible. Okay. So here the answer would be no. And here is the next question. We have a data about the birth dates, year, month, and date of 100 people in a room. We want to find the number of persons of pairs of people who are born in the same year. So which would be the better binning? 12 bins for month or 2 bins for before and 2000, before 2000, and the next is born on or after 2000, and the 12 bins are used to for each decade starting from 1900. Which can be the better option?
Second option.
Yes, people, please do respond, ma.
Yeah, I think third, but
Why
I'm
it
not
is,
understanding.
why it is third option?
Because if I think I'm understanding that if I talk about the pupil, generally the pupils we are talking, these are from more than the date of birth is more than 1900.
Okay.
If we will divide 12 wins each month, then we can calculate. But I have also problem this before 900 who won before 900, then we are not calculating those pupils.
Okay. So, if the people is above 1900, what would be their age actually? It will be higher, right?
Yeah, higher.
Huh. So, but anyway, we are taking from the year 1900 and we are using 12 bins, right? For each decade we are taking it, which means like 10 years, right? It's like if we bin the each decade, like within 10 decades, within the same bin, we could be able to do it, right? But here, if I take like before 2000 and after 2000, what if the people have born in 1978 and 60s, 40s, everything will be used. But we are trying to use only two bins, which is little hard to find, right? Can able to understand people? So within the same bin, I have to do the n number of iterations. What if all the people who were born before 2000, which means a single bin contain the 100 elements. So again, the number of iterations will be higher, right? And similarly, using 12 bins for each month is not making any sense. So the ideal answer can be this third option, using 12 bins, one for each decade starting from the year 1900. Let's check. Yeah, and that is the answer as well.
Yeah, but ma'am, what about those people who born in 18, like before 1900?
But the thing is, of course, they cannot be alive till, right?
Ma'am,
So
can you
what
provide your email ID so I can reach one question
what are you
to
saying?
you?
They are not alive.
No. The thing is, let's say there are people of 100 people in a room. So there is no possibility for the people who was born before 1900, na?
Oh, that's why we are doing this. Okay.
Yeah, that can be the reason for possibilities. And I could someone spoke after you. Who's that? Divya, I have asked ma. Please wait. You'll get an update as well. All right. So people, do you have any doubt in this?
Ma'am, can you provide your email ID so I can reach one question to you?
You can just ask here. What is your doubt?
I can't tell, but one question I screenshotted.
Which activity it is or which practice question it is?
Ma'am, it's from my ITM textbook.
Oh. Which test? I don't understand.
I think he took previous question like he wants to ask to you, so that he is asking your personal Gmail.
He can just send it here, no? Like whatever the activity questions or previous year question, he can ask now.
Yes, but he is not interested to share with everyone.
Right.
I think according to me.
Maybe.
Hmm.
All right, people. People, do you have any doubts so far before moving to the next activity question?
No.
All right, people. So here is the activity 4.5. So they have given that we have two students X and Y. So we have to satisfy this condition. So what are the possible scenarios can be? That is, the particular person's maths and physics mark are added, which has to be equal to the other person's maths and physics mark, added value. It's like added value and added value. Okay. So what can be the possible scenarios, people?
BC.
Option number B.
Okay. Option number B. Then?
And D, both.
Yes.
I think option physics is here. Physics is higher, and here math is higher
Yeah,
than physics. Because math
BCD.
one
Why
physics
it is
math
BC?
also because can I explain in Hindi language, ma'am?
Is it understandable to everyone?
No. I can explain. I will try to explain in English. Don't
Ma'am, I
worry, no
sent one
problem.
question in chat box.
Because there is a X maths, because just I am taking the value of math and physics. for example, maths value is 60 and physics value is 60. Then here I'm putting the value of 60, 60, 60, which is
Ma'am, check out
equal to the
Zoom chat
question.
box.
Okay.
Then option number B is correct. And here I am taking the value of four types. Like if I am taking the value of physics maths, x maths 60 and y maths 40, and here I am taking the value of y physics 40 and x physics, like one is upper x and x math and y physics equal, and y maths and x physics which is equal, then I will get the also value is equal to the each other.
Yes, good, perfect.
And ma'am, here is a black, it's black. I think कुछ black ऊपर आ गया, so I'm not able to see. Yes,
Yeah, I think now it is sorted, right?
yes, and just like to viparit of this option number C.
Yes, actually, the possibility can be it's not that they have to, let's say the person has scored 60 and 80, and this person has scored 60 and 80 and 60, and max 80 he has scored in physics 60. So, is this possibility will give me the equal answers?
Yes,
Of course.
60 plus 80
So,
equal
here
to
what happened? The Y person has scored more in max, but in physics he has scored lesser. So, this possibility is correct. What if the person has scored 66, let's say 70, 60, and this person have scored 70, 60. So now both the max mark are equal, physics mark is also equal, which means option B is correct. The other possibility is no. Yeah. Now the max mark is higher. Here the physics mark is higher. So this can also be the possibility. But anyway, we are getting the same total. Anyone have joined using my ID with green? No, I think so. Okay, so here three are the possible answers. And here is the next question, people. So we wish to count the number of students in the bin 201 to 225 and store the result in a variable A. Which of the following condition checks if the card X falls in this range? So we have to increment the A. Initially, A is initialized with 0. So every time if any person falls in any of this bin, then the count has to be incremented. So which are the options are correct?
B, C, D,
Why it
except
is
A.
B, C, D?
Because here is a just in point is including and X total, and the value of 201 which is equal to or less than, or also here is a written, ma'am, black dashboard is showing, please
Yeah.
remove it. And here also is a end point is end point is included in 225, so that option number
Yes.
one, and also an increment is also correct, and option number of one option is increment is incorrect, because A is equal to 1 is here written, so
Yes,
that
perfect. So can you see here endpoints also need included, which means 201 also need to be included, 205 also need to be included. So here both are included and A is also incremented. In this case, A is again and again reinitialized. It's not incremented. That's why this option is not correct. Here they have given 200 to 226, which indirectly includes 201 to 225. So this
200,
option
okay.
is also right. Here the value has to be greater than or equal to 201, which means, and then they have also mentioned the condition is the value should be less than or equal to 225, which is nothing but the both.
This is
This
just
both
like an
are
instead
correct
of
just
option
by using the split they
B
have
and
done.
D and B, C, D of is a same question, a same answer. But here option number D is, I think, nested.
Yes,
I
nested
can
if
I
is
say this is
used,
a
but here
nested
they
loop?
have used in the single condition. That's it. Correct.
Oh yes, yes.
So here, choose an arbitrary team represented by X and Y. So consider the following procedure. So what is given here is left heavy, which means M dot total. Let's say the first person is left person is taken. His mark is subtracted with N total, the second right side person, which has to be greater than 0. What does it mean?
When M total will be more than it returns will be true.
Yes, when the person M total is greater, then it returns true. Which means here you can see that when the is left of heavy returns false, then when it will give me false answer?
Because the value of 0 is less than when m is less than to n total, then return
Ah,
value is
which means
false.
let's say X and Y. So Y total is greater than that of X. Which means here you have to mention as X and Y. So Y total has to be greater than X. That is one possibility. Is there any other possibility?
No,
I think
What if both
I
the
think
people
option
have
number A, because
yes, what if the both the
zero.
people have scored equal marks? Then
Then
here
it
is a
will come
just
zero. It will come zero, but zero is not included.
yes, here they
yes,
have
ma'am,
mentioned as
yes,
greater than 0, which means if we give
0
equal to 0, if they have given greater than or equal to 0, then this will give me true. But here this will also give me false, right?
yes, ma'am.
Because if the value is 0, it's not greater than 0. So of course I'll get false as the written value. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So here the options are A and C. And here the written value of is left heavy is always the opposite of written value of y comma x. Is it true or false? Yes, everyone.
I think true.
Why it is true?
I
Because
think
when X total will be more than Y total, so less when
We
Y
are saying
is more.
always both will be opposite.
Yeah, I think.
What if
no,
they
ma'am,
both
no,
have
ma'am,
scored equal marks?
no, ma'am. It's depend on the value.
Yeah, it
It
depends
could
on
be
the
or it
value,
could
but
be
which
not.
means we
But
cannot
here is a
directly.
not, always not. It could be always not.
Yeah, it can be, but it's not always because imagine that both the people have scored equal total 280,
Yes. So
280.
option number false is here.
So in that case, is left will give me the value as true or false.
False.
Yes. How about y comma x?
What, ma'am? Y
So
comma
this is for x comma y. I'm getting the
G.
value as false. How
Yes.
about y comma x?
Y comma x. Also I will get the value of 280 and
False.
280.
Huh, then how can we say it's always opposite? Here I'm getting the same values, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But just in case, let's say I have got 240 and 280. Sorry, 280 and 240, let's say. Now, for x comma y, what is the value?
True.
True. And how about y comma x?
False.
Now,
Now,
false. Right?
we are saying M total is Y in second.
The thing is, x comma y is always equal to y comma x is mentioned. So it can be opposite or it can be same also. So there are two possibilities. Can you able to understand people?
Yeah, now I understood.
So we cannot say it's always. So it can be, but it's not always. So here the answer can be false. Is this clear to you all?
आंसर खाली ना पूछो जवाब
What? Okay, now this is the next procedure, people. So is left of m comma n has to be false? If yes, is left of n comma m has to be true. Sorry, that also need to be false. If both the things are false, it will give me the value as true. Else, it will return as false only. So what is this is checking? Yes. It need to have m comma n also is false, n comma m also is false. Then
I think they are saying M total in first. M total.
yes, m total. When will we get both the things as false? Yes, people. Am I audible? People, am I audible, ma?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Yeah, then tell me, when will we get both the n comma m and m comma n has to be false? In what case? If m value is greater or n value is greater or both are equal? Yes. Third option. Okay, if the m value is greater, let's take m is 280 and n is something like 200. So in this case, will I get false? Okay, so here, if m is greater in the sense of I'll get value as true. But when I'm comparing with 200 with 280, I'll get it as false. So both cannot be false. So if m is greater, I cannot get it. Okay. So if n is greater, which means it's like 200 and 280. In this case, during m comma n, I'll get it as false. But when it comes to the n comma m, 200 and 280, here I'll get it as true. But if I get 280 and 280, then both the cases I'll get it as false. So the correct option can be option C. Is this clear to you all? Everyone? Yes, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now proceeding with assignment 4.6. So before that, do you have any doubts so far, people, before moving to the next activity questions?
Ma'am, I left out. Sorry, can you repeat again? Last question.
Yeah, sure.
Solution only in short.
Yeah, okay. So the last question is, when will the both the like is left of m comma n and n comma m has to be false? So if that is the case, it has to return true or else it has to return false, whatever the condition is. So which of the option is correct? Actually, what this procedure is exactly doing, if both the marks are heavy, then only we have check, no? Like for if it is greater than 0 only, it is true. Otherwise, it's false. If it has to be false in both the cases, then the marks has to be equal. So this is the
Okay.
question.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Then the activity 4.6, first question. So let X and Y be the students of, the cards of two students. So they are saying that whether these two blocks are same or not. Please tell the answers, people. Is both the things are same?
Same.
How it is same?
Because when X and Y date is equal, then it come true.
Yes.
And when not equal, then it come false.
Okay, good. Actually, both the things are conveying the same thing. What is given in the first question, like the first activity? It is like first it has to check with the date of birth. If both are true, it is giving us true. In the second code block, if both are not equal, it is giving us false. Which means if it is equal in sense, what it will return? It will return true, right? So both the cases are same. And yeah, here is the next question. Same date of birth. Sorry, same birthday. X comma Y is X comma P is a procedure. Okay, we are taking the card X. It returns the value true if there is at least one person in the file whose date of birth was matches with the other person. So also the procedure returns the file in exactly the same way that it is passed. Okay, what has to be the statement 1 and what has to be the statement 2? That's the question. Okay, so here if the found is false, then they are checking with the other cards. Then what has to be this found value in statement 1? People can able to understand, ma. So we have to check my ID someone is using and chatting. Kindly avoid the misusing. Okay. All right, people. So they have mentioned that we have to return the value true if the same date of birth is matches. Which means what has to be the ideal case of statement 1? What is initially
Found is true.
initialized with?
True.
If it is initialized with true, here will I be able to check with the cards? Initializing value. If I have to find as true, what has to be initialized with?
Then false.
False.
Yes, exactly. Because can you see here what the condition is checked with? Here they are checking found as false, which means once the, can you see? It returns the file exactly the same. Okay. Yeah. So it returns the value true if there is at least one match. If there is one match is also found, it will return it, right? Which means it has to stop the process. So until the match is not found, we have to iterate it. So the initial first, the value is initialized with false. If it is initialized with false, it will check. Yes, it is false. And there are more cards in the pile. So pick the card and check with the same date of birth. Then if the value is same, then what has to be returned? If the value is same, what has to be returned?
True.
Yes, found has to be equal to true. Then here it will check. Is the found is true means will the loop run again? Will the iteration run again? Yes, people. If the value is true, will the iteration work again?
Yes.
How it is yes? If
No.
the found value is true, what is the condition given here? Only if the found is false, then it has to work. If the found is true, this condition failed, right?
Then we will not pick.
Yes, exactly. If the value is false, then we cannot go ahead with that. Is that clear?
Okay.
So here found is equal to false.
So that is why we write false.
Yes, initialized with false. So here you can see it is checking with false. Only if the found is false, we have to keep checking the card. If it is found, we have to stop our process. That's why we are initializing with false. And once we found the same date of birth, we are reinitializing it with true. After that, the iteration stops. Is this clear to everyone? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now going ahead with 4.7. Okay, people, do you have any doubts so far before moving ahead with the next activity question? Okay. So does the paragraph words dataset provide the information of personal nouns or pronouns to resolve pronoun with its equivalent matching noun? 4.4 activity 2 and 3. Okay. I'll just explain that as well, ma. This second and third, right? Okay. So here, let's say they are taking the 4 bins. So which means, so 4 bins in the sense of how many elements each bin will contain. 20 elements has to be divided into 4 equally, which means how many elements each bin will contain?
5.
Yes, exactly. Each bin will contain 5 elements. So 1, 1, 2. Okay. How many elements the second bin will contain? That also contains 5 elements. Third bin also contains 5 elements. Fourth bin also contains 5 elements. Now, how many comparisons can be done in first bin?
10.
Yes. How it is 10?
N minus 1 by 2.
N into n minus 1 by 2, which is nothing but 5 into 4 by 2, which means I'll get it as 10 iterations. If you have a doubt, you can just do it manually. 5 will be compared with how many elements? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So in total, 4 elements. 4 will be compared with 1, 2, and 3. Do I have to compare 4 and 5 again? Is it? No, right? Because it's already compared. So here I'll get 3 iterations. So 3 is compared with how many elements? 1 and 2, right? People, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so here number of iterations.
ma'am.
And how many elements 2 is compared with?
1.
Only 1. So here the number of iterations is 1. So now add 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. What is the value we are getting?
10.
10. So each bin contains 10 iteration. So second bin contains 10 iteration. Third bin contains 10 iteration. Fourth bin contains 10 iteration. So what is the total number of iterations?
40.
Yeah. So the overall is 40. That's why we have got here the second answer is 40. Is that clear? Shravya? Okay. So now going ahead with the third question. Third question, they said that we have to divide it into how many bins? They didn't mention the number of bins, but we need the least number of comparisons. So for 5, if I divide it into 4 bins, how many comparisons are made? 40 comparisons. What if I'm dividing into 5 bins? How many comparisons will be made? 5 bins in the sense of each bin contain how many elements? Yes. If it is 5 bins, yes, each bin contain 4 elements. 4 elements. So if it is a 4 elements, how many comparisons will be made here? 4 into 3 by 2, which is nothing but 6, right? Am I right, people?
Yes.
Exactly. If one bin is 6, this bin contains 6 iterations, 6 comparison, 6 comparison, and 6 comparison. So in total, how many comparison? Exactly. So 30 comparisons are made, right? So for 5, I am getting 30 comparison. Will I be divided by 6 equally? No. Then how about 7? Will we be able to divide it into 7?
Oh.
How about 8?
Mm-hmm.
How about 9?
No.
How about 10?
Yes.
Okay, I can be able to divide it by 10. So in case of 10, how many bins can be used?
3.
Of course, 10 bins, right? So if it is 10 bins, each bin contain how many elements? 10 bins contain how many, each bin contain how many elements, ma? People, 20 has to be divided by 10 then. Yes, exactly. Each bin contains 2 elements, right? So if it is 2 elements, how many comparison are made in one bin?
1.
2 into 1 by 2 is nothing but 1. Which means with 10 bins, I'll get 10 comparisons, right? Because for one bin, it's 1. Here it is 6 and here it is 10. Okay, how about 11? Will I be able to do it with 11 bins? How about 12 bins? 13, 14? No. 15 also not possible. Till 20, it's not possible. So what is the minimum number of bins can be used here? What is the number of bins used which contains the least number of comparisons? Yes, the answer is 10. That's why here we have got the answer is 10. Is that clear, Shravya? Great. Others, do you have any doubt, ma, so far? Yeah. Okay, now going ahead with 4.7. So does the paragraph words dataset provide the information of pronouns to resolve pronoun with its equal matching noun?
No.
Is it true or false?
False.
Why it is false? Yes, ma, why it is false? Okay, so people, if you watch this,
I think
you would have understand why it is no.
it is false just because of pronouns. Because we
Huh.
are not matching with pronouns. I think.
Yes.
I
Yes,
don't like
actually
it.
it's like pronoun, but we are not going to resolve that with the matching nouns or something like that. No. Okay, because the paragraph words contain the parts of speech, letter count, and what word it is. That's it. Okay, so we are not trying to do with the pronouns and all there. Okay, so that's why we have to say it's no. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, any other doubts in any practice questions? No? Gokul, it's about whether we can be whether this is giving us to. So the last question is about whether the paragraph words that data set contain the information of pronouns to resolve its equivalent noun. Do we have anything like that in the data set? No. Okay. You can just check with the lecture also.
Yeah, wherever we find.
Yes, any doubts then? Okay. People, if you have no doubts, you can leave, ma. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, Aman, what's your doubt?
नमस्ते मैम। मैम हिंदी में बोल सकता हूँ क्या?
Yes.
मैम मेरा डाउट कोर्स से रिलेटेड नहीं है बट क्या कहते हैं वो क्वालिफायर एग्जाम से रिलेटेड है। मैम मैंने वो जो ओरिएंटेशन वीडियो थी उसमें मैंने देखा था कि अगर वीक 4 खत्म हो जाते हैं तो उसके बाद हम जो है सिर्फ वीक 4 पर अगर फोकस करें तो वो बहुत होता है जब तक क्वालिफायर एग्जाम कंप्लीट ना हो जाए हमारा। और जैसे ही क्वालिफायर एग्जाम पूरा हो जाता है तो हम जो है वीक 5 कंटिन्यू कर सकते हैं। अगर हम जैसे अभी 23 फरवरी में जो एग्जाम होने वाला है अगर हम उसमें क्वालिफाई कर जाते हैं तो हम वीक 5 से कंटिन्यू कर सकते हैं, सेम टर्म में कंटिन्यू कर सकते हैं। तो मैम अगर अभी मैं वीक 5 छोड़ दूं, उस पर फोकस ना करूं, वीक 4 पे ही फोकस करूं, तो मैं इसी टर्म में ही एडमिशन लूंगा या रजिस्ट्रेशन करूंगा या अगले टर्म में करना पड़ेगा?
Actually, once the week 4 is done, you'll get that qualifier exam, right? So if you are qualified, then you have to continue. So regarding this, if you have any doubts or queries, you can just write it to support team as well.
मैं बस यही प्रॉब्लम है कि वीक 5 का कंटेंट मिल रखा है और उसकी डेडलाइन भी मिल रखी है। अगर मैं वीक 5 छोड़ देता हूँ तो उसकी डेडलाइन मिस हो सकती है। तो मुझे यही डाउट आ रहा है कि अगर मैं सिर्फ वीक 4 पे ही वीक 4 तक फोकस करूं और वीक 5 को कुछ ना करूं, मतलब ऐसे ऐसे छोड़ दूं क्वालिफायर के लिए, तो क्या मैं इसी टर्म में रहूंगा या मुझे अगले टर्म में जाना पड़ेगा? क्योंकि मैं डेडलाइन तो मिस कर चुका हूँ। बस इसी चीज के लिए पूछना था।
Oh, okay, got it. When is the week deadline for week 5? I think for week 4 it's 12th. So week 5, of course, it will be next week, right? I think it
यस मैम।
will be 12 in the sense
It's
of then it's
19th.
19. Yeah, Feb 19.
19th.
So anyway, you have time, right? So you just prepare for the qualifier. It will be only till week 4. If you still have doubt, you can just write the mail to support him today itself so that you can get a reply from them.
थैंक यू मैम।
Yeah, thank you. Others, if you have no doubts, you can leave. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.